If that were to be dumped, let's say theoretically somebody wanted to dump 1 billion hex, like a giant, like I don't even think there's any plebs out there that have 1 billion hex. I think it's all whales that care about the project. But if you had 1 billion hex and you wanted to dump it on the market, you could dump that for 3,282,000 USDC today. But that $1 billion of value of hex is actually worth $12 million. So if you were a whale, and whales aren't stupid, but if you were a very silly whale and you wanted to dump and unload 1 billion hex, you'd only get $3 million because you'd be pushing the price against you with slippage, right? The value of your hex was 12 million, and you essentially sold it for 3 million. So you played yourself, and you only got about a quarter of what your actual hex is worth. So this idea of these giant dumps is very, very unlikely. But let's just say somebody does that. Let's say somebody dumps it to 1 billion. I want to show you how hex doesn't die, and in fact, it just makes it easier for the price to whipsaw back up and slingshot around, right? So if there was a mega evil whale that dumped 1 billion hex, he would receive 8,639 ETH. That would affect the invariant on Uniswap in such a way which would result in 0.00088 cents per hex, which wouldn't kill hex at all, right? It would just simply drop the price to about April levels. So April was only, April, May, June, July, August, September, only 6 months ago, guys. So we would now have 1 billion more hex on the hex side of the liquidity pool, and we would have, again, 8,639 less ETH on the ETH side of the liquidity pool. Now, this would make the invariant, obviously the invariant doesn't vary, it stays the same. It's the hex side multiplied by the ETH side, for those that don't know. But when you have 1 billion more hex on the hex side and 8,000 less ETH on the ETH side, it becomes much more easy to rocket the price back up with very minimal amounts of ETH. Let's take 100 more ETH, for example. If the invariant goes down to 3110 and we put in 100 more ETH, so 3210, the invariant, remember, has to stay the same. And if we multiply that times the price of Ether, which today is $386, that would push the price up to 0.00093, right? So that is a 5.6% increase from a $386,000 buy, which compared to 1 billion hex, that is really just nothing, right? So again, if you're taking 1 billion hex and market dumping it, it takes 377% of the total hex side liquidity to drop the price, 73%, which I've calculated based on Uniswap. 1 billion hex sold today on market would drop the price 73%. Again, it'd be very foolish to do that because you'd be pushing the price against yourself, and no whale in their right mind, in my opinion, would market dump that much.